All right. What's up, fam? Hello, we are here. My name's Pig. We've just found out there's a bunch of new maps that have been announced. So let's go take a little look-see. This is just going to be a first impressions. I have no idea. Whatever they do, the maps tournaments, they're at some god-awful time. There's so much StarCraft to watch. I have not watched a single one of the map tournament that happened on these maps. So judge me. I have no passion. It's fine. First map, Death Aura LE. All right, cool. Looks kind of sexy. How do we get out of this? Did that just open it in a new tab? It did. Okay, fantastic. Let's go. This is from Maris. All right. Maris creates some cool shit. Maris, of course, made like Nightshade and a bunch of other cool maps. Death Aura features the new acceleration zone generators that increase the movement speed of units. These zones are situated on the 3 bridges in the middle. The most forward bases have 2 rich gas geysers, 14 blue bases in total, of which the forward ones have 2 rich Vespene geysers. The acceleration zone generators are situated on the bridges in the middle. The scouting path goes through these in a zigzag shape. There is also plenty of airspace. Okay, cool. So she says there's bridges in the middle. There, and there, I guess, is where these kind of are. Cool. Should we grab green shot? Should we open green shot? Yeah, let's open green shot, I guess. Oh, it's already running? Holy crap. Let's go. Let's draw on the maps because it's fun. Open in image editor. I haven't done this in a while. It's been a while since I bothered doing this. How do we draw? Where's me freehand drawing tool? Cool. It's nice and thick, right? Nope. 15? Nope. Okay, that's a little thick. That's too thick. Cool. Okay, so we've got spawn in the top left, bottom right. You've got an obvious natural down the ramp. Good bit of space in the main base. Third base option, you can expand in a straight line. Looks like then you'd have to, of course, if you expand there, worry about entrance there and a big wide attack angle here where you can get kind of caught in the open a little bit. But definitely, definitely not too wide open. If you go up to that third base, you've got a high ground. So I kind of feel like people would often tend for this one, like especially PVZ. I might go for that, try to wall off part of that. And then, if anyone, that's a very narrow choke. This is still only probably 2 force fields would 90% block this off, if not completely. That looks like a 1 force field ramp. I can imagine myself always taking the high ground base just because I would really like a gateway wall with like a cannon and a battery behind it up there. It would be real bloody sexy. So that looks kind of nice. We've got those accelerator zones. So just a little field where your units go, woo! I don't know if it's plus 50% move speed. Something like that. I really want to see Zerglings running back and forwards through there and Stem Marines. It's going to be so sick. In terms of attack path, that's always what we like to look at. Well, that doesn't seem particularly efficient. Is that? Well, I guess these are fast. Actually, these speed you up. So yeah, that would absolutely be the fastest way through the map would be through them, wouldn't it? Do a bit of a zigzag, but boosted there, straight to their natural. So it looks like it'd be kind of a medium rush distance map. Keep in mind, this whole middle area is all low ground. So we've got jutting out high ground areas above it, up here. You've got these kind of areas where you can siege up, you can be on the high ground, have that vision advantage. And of course, destructible rocks blocking here and here. So yeah, you could take those down to open it up. Also, destructible rocks there to widen that choke point. Cool. Now, she mentioned rich gas geysers. That's these 2 high ground bases. So these super far forward exposed high ground bases have double Vespene rich geysers. If you secure one of those, that's the equivalent of having like 3.5 gases or something. That's insane. Someone in chat says, what's the distance though? I have no idea, mate. Someone else is going to actually measure that. This is literally the first time I've looked at these maps. I believe someone actually measures them each season and posts it on Reddit. Does anyone know? If they do, let me know in chat. I'd love to hear if there's consistently someone who measures it. Usually the way people measure it is the amount of time it takes a worker to go from the natural to the other natural. And I don't know if they measure it from where the expansion goes down, from the wall off, or where, but there's... Usually that's it. They just measure the number of seconds, and even something like a 5-second difference in that travel time is actually a big thing. Where do you expand? Assuming this is your first 4 bases, you can expand up here, take the high ground. You get more and more exposed, more and more stretched. Similar to Nightshade, I'm looking at this and I'm actually thinking, Maris, this is just winning map design. Honestly, I think it looks really good. I'm very impressed. The aesthetic looks cool as well, of course, with the purple and green all over it and stuff. As you can see from this little picture here, little purple flowers and this like these rich, deep, kind of almost aquatic green colors to it. And it's in the middle of what appears to be a swamp. You can see these kind of gnarled trees and rocky spires sticking out of what looks very kind of swamps of Dagobah, right? Cool. I like it. I'm still always like, can we get more beaches and more just green fields, you know? But it's still a unique look, still looks kind of cool. So yeah, let's go. All right, so next map, guys, is going to be a map called Ice and Chrome. The Music 246 made this map. It says, choose between an open third and a safer fourth, or a safer third and an open fourth. Okay, that makes sense. Sounded a little confusing. Like my brain kind of malfunctioned there for a second. Let's draw on the map. So we are using just Green Shot here. It's a lovely piece of free software. All right, so Ice and Chrome. Once again, you know, just good to see that map makers really like dead looking maps. Well, look, we got metal, here we've got grid metal, here we've got barren icy wasteland. I'm like, oh cool, what's around the edges? Dead fucking glacier. I'm like, cool. We didn't want to put trees anywhere on this map. No flowers, no little zen pools with koi fishies. Nope. Okay, thanks guys. I will continue my rampant hatred of people not putting enough green, beautiful, pretty things and nice, shiny beaches with seashells and shit on the maps. I love you guys. You're making great maps. You're putting in a lot of effort. Obviously, it's your own artistic freedom. I'm just saying, if you want to make me unreasonably happy with an aesthetic feature, put more beautiful little things on it, please. Make it a skate park, people are saying. All right, so tight entrance there into the third. But then your fourth, actually, I mean, this one has much bigger entrances. It's got the double entrance. That one, of course, up there at the third can be widened, right? You can widen that, but initially a narrower choke in there. I feel like though, what a lot of people are going to do is just expand along the edges. Take that base. Because even though it's quite far away, it's a bit of a narrow choke to get in there. I guess probably be a bad base to take as Zerg versus Terran, right? Because they could just set up tanks here, and you can't really get around. Oh god, no, you would never take this versus a Terran as your fourth. You can't defend that. How are you going to flank that army? You got to go like, you got to go all the way around in this big roundabout. It's going to be hard to get around that corner. There'd be a real kill zone on the edge. So I just imagine a tank bio push murdering that fourth base. So my initial thoughts of, yeah, you'd just take that fourth. Nope. You'd take this one if you were Zerg versus Terran. Yeah. I mean, there's still, they could like set up tanks down here and work around this edge a lot. There's some other positions they can use. Cool. Some little nooks and crannies. Oh man. There might be space to lift or drive a siege tank in and put siege tanks here and just like be unable to get dislodged. It's not that close to the hatch though, so actually I think it's fine. Anyways, other than that, let's have a little think about rush distance. Natural to natural. There is a way down here. Okay, so there's tall grass and double destructible rocks by the looks of it. Or maybe it's just a single in the middle of the map. So that's blocked. These are also blocked with destructible rocks. So real narrow choke points there. But that would be the fastest way through. Probably be that. Straight natural to natural. Once again, this whole low ground area, even though once you open that up, it'll be the fastest way through. It's low ground, you know, you can get sieged from the high ground and shot from there. It's like a real, this is a real chasm, you know? It's making me think of, like, what's the first, Way of Kings, where they go down in the fucking chasms. You guys know the chasm? Okay, I'll stop. But it's a real chasm of death here. It's definitely a dangerous area to hang out in. If your archons get stuck in the chasm, it'll be, I can't hold it in. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the fact that there's no path through here, there's actually, there's watchtowers. Watchtower there, watchtower there. So there are edge watchtowers that provide good vision over these areas. But they don't provide full vision through the middle or anything like that, which is how watchtowers have been implemented. Back in early Wings of Liberty, they'd always be like, here's a watchtower, and you get to see everything important if you hold it. And it was like, oh, wow, what an interesting mechanic. It was really bad. These are just good for controlling the edges. But because there's no, like, you kind of have to go through the middle. Otherwise, it's like, look at how roundabout this is to get in. You've got to go so far around the edges, you know, to go around that side. So I think there's going to be a lot of cutting through the middle up onto the high ground, you know, cutting through the middle up onto the high ground. Looks like there's a bit of dead space. You can never tell on these map previews though, but looks like there's a little bit. Overall, looks like a pretty good map. In terms of number of bases, like the previous map I really liked, because as you get to 5, 6, 7 bases, your bases get very spread out. You can get a 5th pretty easily on this map by the looks of it. And then you'd probably go 6th and 7. I imagine that's what you'd do. I feel like that base there is a bit of a trap. I feel like you'd want to expand in this pattern, not go down to that little shitty bit of low ground, and focus on controlling like the high ground areas are really good defensive areas. Yeah, I think that's what we do. Not a bad map. Cool. So Ice and Chrome, thank you. The music looks like a good map. Keen to play it. Pillars of Gold is next up. Now this one's been made by Agaton. Terran prospectors have reported that they've seen structures in the distance that soared up to the sky like pillars of gold. The proto-settlement consists of 14 bases where the linear third is further away from the opponent compared to the triangular third, but in return the high ground surrounding it must be taken into consideration. No matter in which direction you go, there'll always be a 4th waiting for you. The corner bases will prove valuable as vantage points and to help control the base located below it. So the linear third is further away from the opponent, but the triangular third, but the high ground surrounding it are dangerous, is what he's saying. All right. Let's print screen, grab that, open an image editor, draw some lines. All right, so basically the Terrans are coming mining here. They're finding there's all these ancient kind of Protoss pylon type power structures everywhere on this map. So that's cool. You've got a mix of kind of the barren, desert-like wasteland, rocky, you know, badlands almost, I guess, mixed with the Protoss kind of ancient city layout, which is cool. So your main base is what could best be described as effing massive. Have fun getting Doom dropped on this map, Terran players. Your natural also looks like it's kind of far away. So yeah, I gotta have to watch out for this drop angle in every matchup, guys, and just for Doom drops coming in, lots of surface area to cover, and it looks like your initial 3 bases are quite spread out. So the linear third is this one, but there's high ground around it. Okay, so there's a high ground in front of it there, and there's a high ground up there where like tanks could siege. Okay, yeah, it's making me think of Port Alexander, where tanks sieging there could be a bit hard to deal with. You elevate some Marines down. So there's some nice little angles. I don't think they're the scariest. Now, this one's a little bit closer to your opponents. This is the non-linear third. He said, oh, look, this one is closer to your opponent, but there's no high ground near it. It's just a big, wide open entrance. A big, wide open entrance. So this, I mean, there is a low ground there. Obviously, that's walled off with destructible rocks that can be taken down, where someone could siege behind or whatever. But yeah, much more wide open areas, less abusive terrain around it. It says either way, you will get a 4th base. Now, I feel like you're not going to take that 4th, are you? Maybe, actually. It's kind of protected up in the corner. Like, for your opponent to attack that, it's kind of out of the way. So if they've taken that 4th, it's not as far. This is one of those ones where it's got high ground. It's right in the corner. Maybe you do, but it's so far spread from your third. I imagine people are going to be going bam, 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 bam. And they're going to be taking this triangle setup before venturing to the much more exposed bases. And these are the bases. If the game goes long enough, these corner bases are dangerous. Hard to hold bases, much more spread. So you get 5 bases much more defensively. 6th and 7th bases for each of you is going to be rough. Let's talk about the rush distance. Natural to natural looks like you'd go something like this. There is no path there. I'm just exploring the different paths. Go there. Can't go that way because of the destructible rocks. Can go there. Do. Cool. Let's keep that a bit cleaner. So it looks like a rather large map. Once again, low ground through the middle of the map. And you've, of course, got high ground jutting into it. High ground. So, yeah. I like it. Looks pretty good. Looks like a nice map. Even spreading to a fourth, you do open up some attack angles. Like I said, the drops in the back are going to be somewhat troublesome. Yeah. We've also got little destructible rocks here to widen these paths. You've got sight blockers there and there. So that's going to create an interesting dynamic around those edge bases. And cool. Overall, yeah, I'm a fan. I like the little backstory as well. I like it when someone gets their backstory going. That's cool. So shout out to Agaton. Pillars of Gold. Looks like a good map. I'm actually really happy with these maps. They look kind of fantastic, right? This one's from Zweck. Submarine LE. Wait. Is this an underwater map? Is that what we're... I don't even want to... I'm so excited. Rather small and aggressive map with fewer bases. Although small, the layout is still rather standard. It allows for all kinds of strategies. The short, straightforward attack path is choked off by rocks. I'm so excited. Please be a map where they have the Abyssal Reef mechanic, where units float upwards. Please. I've been asking for it for years. It's been like 3 years since we got the floating up mechanic. For those who weren't playing a few years back, Abyssal Reef was a map which was underwater. There was coral everywhere. There was like literally a shark swimming around the map. And whenever your units died, they would float up. It was the best thing ever, and I love it. It makes me so happy. And I really hope they have... I don't know if they have this mechanic on that. If you guys let me know if they have that. If anyone's played on this, let me know. I hope so. Different aesthetic. Makes me quite happy. I would prefer some more colorful reefs and things. This one's gone for more of a certain color scheme. It's the blues and these kind of autumn fall as you guys call it in America, kind of corally colors. Okay, cool. So, excuse me. Main base. All right, let's look down here. So you got a natural. Lots of space around it, which is cool. Lots of dropping area in the main as well. I'm triggered by how big that X was. There. Your third is spread really far. Whether you go that way or that way, it's a little bit awkward to get to. I think that one's a bit more natural to get to. Only one attack path into it. It is rather wide open though. And then you've got these two attack paths. Got a fourth base there, which has a high ground on front of it. A destructible rock there. And another wide open path. Now, it looks like these corner bases... I think these are just markers. It looks like these are rocks. They're actually just markers on the ground saying, hey, this is where you put your command center, I believe. I don't think those are actually blocking anything. Yeah, you definitely get spread out a bit. And like it said, it's a smaller map. If you are going the fastest path, he said it's choked up by rocks. And you can see that. Rocks. It's like an advertising campaign for New Zealand, right? New Zealand, rocks. And they just got a picture of a mountain, that old Flight of the Conchords joke. That's essentially this middle path across the map. You've got, rocks there. I like these. Sight blocker. Bam. Is that a sight blocker? I think that's a sight blocker there in there as well. I don't think that is. I don't know what, is that can you move through there? I don't know. Can you move through that, or is that blocked terrain? Is that blocked? I can't tell what this is. The resolution of this image sucks. What are we looking at? I can't tell if you can move across that or not. I have no idea. All right. If you guys want to play these maps, by the way, just go melee, submarine. I'm going to check. I want to see if units float up. Oh. Gotta love New Zealand there. All right, guys, we're very quickly going to test to see if there's a medium AI, whatever. See if things float up. All right, so I'm gonna get that going. We're gonna get this custom game going. We're just gonna double check that as well as check on the map. Apparently this map is not underwater. Chat saying why? What is wrong? Okay, you know what? Map makers are beautiful people. They create us great maps, but they're a bit precious, right? I reckon, this is my theory. My theory is the map making community is like, oh no, we can't steal that mechanic. That would not be artistically integrous. And artistically integrous? It is just sight blockers, guys. It's just sight blockers. Okay, they don't look like sight blockers on the map preview, but they are just sight blockers. Cool. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if you ask whoever made Abyssal Reef, guy who made Abyssal Reef, can we use your mechanic? I'm pretty sure he'd be cool with it. I'm pretty sure he'd be freaking cool with it, man. Why aren't these units floating up? I'm pissed off. God damn it, map makers. Why are you guys so precious? So anyways, that indeed, taking a look at it again. Sight blockers, sight blockers, sight blockers, sight blockers. Cool, lots of sight blockers. Bit more high ground through the middle of the map. There's a little low ground there. Obviously low ground here, low ground here. Looks like a fun map. You could still play macro games on this, but a bit shorter rush distance, a bit more brutal with flanking your opponent in some of these positions. And some nice wide open areas where some good fighting can happen. Spread quite a bit. Once you get to 4 bases, whether you go there or there, you start to spread out a bit more. Once you get to 5 or 6, you're very spread out. And someone who controls like a middle area can just branch off and hit any of your bases very easily. I think we have one more map, or is that all of the new maps? That's all the new maps, guys, for 1v1. Maps in 2v2, we've got Nightscape, Flashback for 3v3, and Fortitude for 4v4. So I'll take a look at those now. What maps are staying in the map pool? Cool. You're not going to tell us in the post? Blizzard. Why do you never tell me? I bet I have to go into a Team Liquid forum post or something to actually find out. No, it is. Okay, it's down here. They actually put it in the post. They're getting better. I love it. Thank you, Blizzard. We love you. Death Aura. So Everdream, Golden Wall, Purity and Industry are the 3 maps that are staying. They're keeping the new crazy maps. So this is a more normal set of maps that they've put in. So I think that makes sense. Because they're keeping Purity and Industry and because they're keeping Golden Wall, it's very good that they're actually keeping... you know, they're kind of going, okay, here's a bunch of new maps, but they all seem like very standard maps, and we're keeping the 2 more wild maps. So that's an okay way of doing it. If they were bringing in 2 or 3 more crazy maps, I'd be like, oh no, you can't do that and keep Golden Wall. Personally, I would like to see a 9-map pool. I wish we would see more old maps rotate back in. I wish there was always 1 or 2 old maps in each pool. Bring Abyssal Reef this season, Overgrowth this season, you know, Daybreak, whatever, fucking anything. Maybe not Daybreak, that's not my fave, but Frost, bring back Frost, you know, bring us back some maps. Have a go with it. I think it'd be really fun. So anyways, let's take a quick look-see at those 2v2 maps. So here's the 2v2 map. Looks like you both share a base up in the top. Cool. Yeah, that looks kind of funky. I like the aesthetic. You're in Tron World, apparently. You're in some sort of virtual Matrix reality thing. Cool. I'm not going to do any real analysis here. I would say that it looks like you can't really attack through the map too much because you've kind of got to go through this middle area. There's no path down here. So the fighting is all going to get forced. Oh, this is it's quite a turtley map because you can just like wall off the front and then go bam, bam. Lots of air harass. Yeah, lots of air harass. Lots of sky units. Here's a 3v3 map. You all get to expand together. You all get a free expansion with a single choke point, and it's the same kind of thing. Very turtley, but past that point, you run out of third bases. Your third bases, once everyone takes a third base, you're all going to be spread a bit thin, and then you're going to have to all start fighting. Likewise, though, not many areas. All the fighting is mostly just going to be contained in this area, and this area here is going to see 90% of the action on this map. With this sort of layout, when you've got this kind of, rather than being in opposite corners, you're on the same side, a sideways oriented map, You're going to see 90% of the heat map action, the combat going on just in that direct corridor between natural to natural, which is fine. Just something to point out. And here's the 4v4 map where it looks like you all spawn, oh my god, right next to each other with the most protected mineral lines of all time. Look at that. That's amazing. That's so sick. And then 1, 2, 3 of you get safe expansions. One of you has to take a base way out front and gets cucked. But then you're expanding really exposed out along these edges. There is high ground defending it. There's no direct path through the middle. You've got to break down these rocks there, and I think maybe there as well to get across. But it's a 4v4 map, should be fun. And of course, that was our earlier 1v1 map. So, cool. Yeah. Oh, it even tells you. The new season also brings everyone a free name change. Oh my god! You guys can get a free name change. About time. Hells yeah. Good job, Blizzard. Awesome. I'm actually super hyped. These maps look really good. I am going to be... I know Maras, so I am absolutely influenced by hanging out and finding Maras to be a very cool person at Home Story. But I like the design of her map because it reminds me a lot of Nightshade. And it's... What makes me excited is maps where it gets harder and harder to defend your expansions as you get to 4 base, 5 base, 6 base, exponentially harder. So it forces people to kind of get out on the map and be in each other's face and be the aggressor and really fight to control their bases. I love maps like that. I actually don't mind Eternal Empire, even though it's a base that almost forces macro games because it's very hard to attack each other. But I love that we're seeing more maps like this. So this is really cool. I'm actually really excited by those maps. Thank you, everybody, for continuing to ask over and over. Pig, have you looked at the maps? I was like, I don't care. I'm tilted. I'm too busy getting ruined on the ladder. Stop asking me to look at the maps. And then I looked at the maps and I had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed this first impressions. Did a little bit more analysis with the drawing tool than we normally do, but had a lot of fun with it. Thanks for hanging. We'll see you guys in the next video. May do an update video if I have some more thoughts in the near future. Catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.